Coming up on the Angus Report, market motivations for producing quality beef.
Honoring Angus heritage at the National Western Stock Show.
A look at finished cattle weights and trends.
A Montana Angus Ranger shares benefits for genomic technology, and we visit a century Angus herd in Oklahoma.
This is the Angus Report. Hello and welcome to the Angus Report. I'm Bob Cervera.
And I'm Crystal Albers.
Our top news this week. While change is inevitable across the cattle markets, the trend toward higher quality genetics and beef products is here to stay. In the feedlot or at the meat case, there's great reward for cattle producers committed to continuous improvement. Market expert Pete Anderson shares his observations on cattle prices and opportunity.
There's an interesting lesson to be learned by watching cattle prices and inflation over the last 40 years or so. In the 80s and 90s, when inflation was pretty high in the general economy, cattle prices didn't go anywhere, which was a strong signal that our demand was weakening. But in the last 15 years, where there's been relatively low inflation in the general economy, beef prices have doubled. And so that's a sign that demand was strengthening. So we've been sort of counter to the general inflation numbers, but that does tell us that our demand has strengthened quite a bit in the last 15 years. Cattle are still very valuable compared to history, and the value differences between those that meet certain specifications or don't are greater than they've ever been. And so we can apply certain kinds of technology and invest more money into individual animals now because of those value differences, as long as those investments help us to meet specifications where premiums are paid.
Anderson was a featured speaker at the recent Feeding Quality Forum hosted by Certified Angus Beef. Learn more at cabpartners.com.
The federal veterinary feed directive goes into effect in just 4 months, bringing with it new requirements for feeding medicated feed to livestock. Starting January 1st, 2017, certain antibiotics that are considered important for human medicine can only be used to control or treat specific animal health programs. That's according to a recent article in the September Angus Beef Bulletin. To receive the feed antibiotics, cattle must be under the supervision of a licensed veterinarian who issues the Veterinary Feed Directive or VFD document. Cattle producers are encouraged to contact their veterinarian and develop a plan ahead of the new year. Read more online at angus.media or attend the related educational Angus University workshops at the Angus Convention this November. More information is available at angusconvention.com.
For more than a century, the National Western Stock Show in Denver, Colorado has been a focal point of the U.S. cattle industry. To celebrate that heritage, the American Angus Association will host a new evening event January 11, 2017 in the historic Stadium Arena during the National Western. Activities will combine the Angus Foundation Heifer Package, the National Angus Bull Sale, which is the only sale managed by the association and features live entertainment. Also new this year, awards will be presented to the consignors of the Grand Champion and Reserve Grand Champion sale bulls, including cash prizes and advertising in the Angus Journal.
We are gearing up for a great 2017 National Western, and we have some new and exciting events. On Wednesday, January 11th, we will have a Angus Foundation female sale that evening. We will then follow with some Angus Foundation packages of vacation and auction items, and then follow into our bull sale that the association hosts. And then we'll end the evening with some live entertainment from the Jake Hooker Band. This will be the very first time that we will hold an actual sale/event in the National Western Stadium Arena, and we look forward to inviting our members to attend for a great evening.
Visit angus.org to download an entry form and to find more information about Angus events during the 2017 National Western Stock Show.
Throughout the last year, finished weights of cattle have increased due to changes within the beef market. An animal scientist from South Dakota State University says this also represents a larger industry trend for more efficiently feeding cattle to higher weights. He says that today's cattle genetics allows feeders more freedom in choosing when cattle are finished.
When I started my career, when a steer was finished, their intakes would begin to level off or drop, and they became very inefficient. So it was more profitable to sell them before that happened. Today, between the genetic potential for growth of the cattle and the improvement in the management of the cattle, they don't reach that tailing off point. So our cost of gain, even on overly finished cattle, is still cost effective. So we have to have a different reason that we decide that pen is finished.
USDA recently released a smartphone app to help manage heat stress for livestock. The new app issues weather forecasts and alerts ranchers of high heat. It takes into consideration humidity, wind speed, and solar radiation, and then offers suggestions on how to manage livestock in times of high temperatures. By managing heat stress properly, producers can prevent a decline in appetite, reduce growth and weight gain, and help decrease susceptibility to disease. The app is available in the iPhone App Store and Google Play for Android devices. We go now to Jenna McCrell for a look at the week's top headlines.
The Certified Angus Beef brand hosted its annual conference last week in Tucson, Arizona, to celebrate another successful year for CAB brand sales and production. Among the event attendees were cattlemen and women dedicated to quality beef, along with chefs and food service professionals who connect daily with the ultimate beef consumer. The Angus media team was also on hand to provide coverage from the event, and we'll bring you highlights in the October 10th episode of the Angus Report, right here on RFD TV. Angus breeders in Colorado and Nebraska are welcoming Drew Feller of Wisner, Nebraska, as the territory's new regional manager for the American Angus Association. He's a fifth-generation cattleman and product of the National Junior Angus Association and brings a wealth of industry knowledge, energy, and passion for the Angus breed. Feller will be responsible for helping cattle producers identify herd goals, learn new programs and services, and drive quality within their operations. Visit angus.org to locate an association regional manager in your area. And when visiting the association's website, you'll notice an all-new design and engaging content features on the angus.org homepage. The organization is proud to roll out enhancements, including an updated layout, a more user-friendly navigation menu, and design. Featured prominently on the homepage are news articles and announcements from the association, as well as upcoming sale books and events across Angus country. And in the upper right-hand corner, the red login button connects members with their AAA login account. Visit angus.org to explore the new site. And that's what you need to know this week in the Angus business.
Thanks, Jenna. When we return, a Montana rancher discusses the benefits of genomic technology.
And we visit the Simpson family in Oklahoma, who've raised Angus cattle for more than a century.
Visit angus.media to continue watching this episode of the Angus Report.
The Angus Report is brought to you by Merck Animal Health, the makers of Safeguard Cattle Dewormer. Healthy cattle perform better. Add Safeguard, add pounds. Contact your veterinarian or animal health supplier today.
This isn't a 9-to-5 job. So when you check the pants one last time, put away the tools, and make sure everything's ready to hand off to the night crew. It's not the clock that tells you the day is over. It's the confidence of knowing you got it right. It's having one less thing to worry about when the sun goes down. So when you see the signs of BRD, choose confidence. Choose Zuprevo from Merck Animal Health. Talk to your veterinarian about Zuprevo for BRD treatment.
Horn flies cost cattle producers nearly $1 billion a year. They interrupt grazing, cause loss of blood, and impact your bottom line. By incorporating Alticid IGR into your supplement program, you can prevent the emergence of adult horn flies. Alticid IGR will significantly reduce stress on your cattle. For pennies a day, you can control the most costly parasite and increase your profitability. Contact your feed supplier to incorporate Alticid IGR today.
Angus breeders, predictability is now more affordable. Introducing the i50K from Zoetis, a genomic test that allows you to dig deeper for untapped herd potential. Access genomic information on even more animals for less cost without sacrificing accuracy. i50K from Zoetis helps you make more informed decisions sooner and better match your females to that perfect sire. To learn more, visit i50k.com. California, the high Sierras, the Pacific Blue. It's also a leading source for registered Angus seed stock. This fall, make California your first Angus choice. September and October offer more than 30 sales from some of the best breeders in America. And they've got quality Angus cattle that are performance and genomically tested and ready for work. To learn more about these breeders, visit CaliforniaAngus.com. California, your first Angus choice.
We stand for what we believe in. We believe in you. It's more than a job. It's your way of life. Who you are, where you live, and what you do. The way you treat your cattle, your family, your employees, and your neighbors. The water you drink, the air you breathe, and the ground you walk on. What you do every day gives families something to gather around every night. It's about doing what's right for your cattle, your land, your community, and your business. It's your livelihood, and it means as much to us as it does to you. We all believe in responsible beef. Let's stand together at responsiblebeef.com.